Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Meg Heaton, and today we're going to hear about Big Give St. Croix Valley, which is set for next Tuesday, April 27th. And here to explain about Big Give and how it works is Lisa Murphy. She is the Big Give Program and Development Director and also a Development and Communications Director with United Way St. Croix Valley. And considering the year we've just been through and the one that lies ahead, Lisa, it seems like this might be the perfect time to give big when it comes to the many nonprofits that serve the Hudson area and the surrounding communities. Let's start by telling viewers what Big Give St. Croix Valley is and how it works.
And it's giveBig St. Croix Valley.
I'm sorry, giveBig, yes.
giveBig, yes. So giveBig St. Croix Valley is a 24-hour day of giving to the nonprofit organizations in our communities. It takes place online, and it's open to Pierce, Polk, St. Croix, and Burnett County nonprofit organizations. So giveBig St. Croix Valley actually started over a decade ago now in the community of Osceola. And it has just expanded from there. It initially was managed and put on by the Osceola Community Health Foundation. And several years ago now, United Way St. Croix Valley took over and expanded it from Polk County to Pierce and St. Croix counties. And this year, we have expanded into Burnett County as well. So we do have our first Burnett County participating nonprofits this year, which is exciting.
And how many nonprofits are in the giveBig?
It ranges each year, typically, between 80 to 95 about. This year we have 85 nonprofits participating. And I should say the Giving Day takes place every year on the last Tuesday in April. So this year it's April 27th.
Okay. And what is United Way's role in making this happen?
So United Way, we say powered by United Way. Really, giveBig St. Croix Valley is a program of United Way St. Croix Valley. So we provide staffing for the Giving Day and the organization, and also the promotion, lots of community-wide promotion for giveBig St. Croix Valley, and kind of everything that it takes to make giveBig happen in terms of administration and just keeping everything moving forward for the day.
And are there sponsors that work with you on this, or?
Yes, so we do. We reach out to sponsors every year, and we have some very generous sponsors that help make this possible. So we receive a grant. We did receive a grant this year from St. Croix Valley Foundation. They have helped support giveBig St. Croix Valley for years now. And we also receive some Valley Partner sponsorships, we call them, for sponsorships from different organizations. So our top sponsor is Royal Credit Union. They have been very generous with giveBig St. Croix Valley in putting the Giving Day on. They also sponsor our Power Hour prizes, which I'll talk about in a minute. Also, our Valley Partner sponsors are Liberty Financial and Midwest One Bank. And then we have some civic partner sponsors, NOAA Insurance and Wisconsin Credit Union. So these sponsors are very important in terms of of making giveBig happen. The nonprofits that participate during giveBig, they have the opportunity to win prizes in different ways all throughout the day. And that's part of the fun of giveBig and the incentive for the nonprofits to participate. So this year, thanks to the sponsors, we have a $10,000 prize pool for giveBig, and that funds the Golden Ticket Awards that are drawn every hour, power hours, and the cash prizes for the organizations that bring in the most unique donors to their organization during the day. Wow.
So the prizes go to the nonprofits, is that right? Or to the, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So for example, every single hour during giveBig, starting at midnight and going all the way until 11:59 p.m. on April 27th, we have what we call golden ticket prizes. So each golden ticket is worth $100. So for anybody that comes and donates to your organization during that hour of the day, they're put in a random drawing. And at the end of that hour, the system randomly draws two names, and whichever organization that person donated to wins that extra $100 golden ticket. So that's one of the most fun things during the day.
Yeah.
I always think is the golden ticket drawings. Every hour, I'm always refreshing the page to see who won, and it can really be anyone. Any organization is equally eligible to win those prizes, and people will get up in the middle of the night and give smaller donations. They'll break their donations up over the hours and try to help their favorite nonprofit win extra golden tickets by giving at 3 a.m. and at 4 a.m, and it's really fun to watch.
So how do you make a donation?
To donate during GiveBig, you go to our website, which is givebigscv.org. And when you log onto the website, there's a big green button right there that you can click to donate, and it will bring up all of the organizations that are participating in GiveBig. So you can see all 85 organizations there. And then you can search you can narrow it down by communities or by causes that you care about. So if you know that you really want to support an organization that works with animals, you can search, narrow it down to just show you those organizations. If you want to search in a specific community close to you, you can do it that way. So there's a lot of ways to go find your organization of choice. And when you go to their page that they've created, then you just click to donate. And many of the organizations also have matching grants as well. So that'll be listed on their organization page if they have a matching grant. So that's another incentive for donors. A lot of times the organizations have brought in a match. So whatever they give will be doubled during GiveBig up to a certain amount. And
this will go on, you said it starts at when on the 27th? At midnight?
It starts at midnight.
Okay.
And really, GiveBig is already open. There is the opportunity now to give early, and people are already getting early donations. And there are a couple of golden tickets available for early donations. But the vast majority of giving takes place on the 27th between midnight and 11:59 p.m. that day.
Okay. So why is it better to do it on the day? Is there an advantage to doing it on the 27th as opposed to just donating directly?
Well, it's up to the donor, whatever they prefer. But I think the fun of giving on April 27th is that there are more golden tickets available that day. So you're more likely to help your organization win a golden ticket prize. And then also there are 2 power hours from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We have during those time periods what's called a power hour. This is an incentive that is sponsored by Royal Credit Union. And the organizations that have the most people donate to them during those hours are eligible to win a prize. And so there's a cash prize for first place, second place, and third place during the power hours. So that can be another incentive to give the day of. The other prizes, the unique donor big prizes and the leaderboard that day, that tallies up all of the people that have donated to an organization from the time donations open. So it doesn't matter for those other unique donor grants, but the golden tickets and the power hours are the incentive to give that day.
Okay. And you were talking about when you make a donation, or when you can go to the page that the nonprofit has, and that includes all the information about what they do and who they serve and how they work, right?
Yes, it does. Typically, an organization will have a description of who they are, what their mission is, their communities that they serve, and then they'll also tell you about what they're raising money for during GiveBig. So some organizations are raising money just for general operating for their organization, and other organizations might be raising dollars for a certain project that they want to do. They might be raising money for a capital campaign. They might have a specific program in mind that they would really like to generate dollars for during GiveBig. So you can read all about it there. And the organization pages are really fun to check out. They have lots of great pictures. They tell stories from their clients and the people that they serve. And it's just a great way to learn more about all of the work that's being done in our communities that we might not even be aware of.
Over the course of, you said giveBig has been operating for how many years?
It is now in its 14th year.
Okay.
So yes, over a decade.
And how has it grown over those years? More and more all the time?
Oh, more and more. Yes, it has. It has consistently grown each year. It started. So this predates my time, but the story that I've been told about the very beginnings of Give Big were just a door-to-door giving campaign that happened in Osceola from a dedicated and generous group of community members, and it became more formal and grew from there. So as we've added more nonprofits and added more communities we serve, it has continued to grow. Last year, Give Big had its best year ever. It raised over $400,000 for 82 participating nonprofits last year.
Wow. And are you expecting to be able to bust that this year? Raise even more? That's the hope, I would assume.
Of course, that's our hope. Yes, we're doing everything we can to increase it this year. Last year was a little bit of an anomaly in some ways because at April 28th last year, it was right as the pandemic started and people were locked down at home, and there was a tremendous amount of need. And so, just nationally, days like this saw a huge uptick in giving from about mid-April through May. And so we were able to kind of get right in that great time period for giving last year. Now with this year, I'm not sure how, if that will have an impact or not, but the nonprofits are still, they have just as much need, if not more need than they had last year at this time, because it has been a very challenging year. And we know that it's been a challenging year for all of us. But the nonprofit organizations have seen an increase in demand for their services. So they're doing more and serving more people, while at the same time, there's a decrease in the amount of donations that are coming in for various reasons. And then, of course, over the last year, many nonprofit organizations in our communities rely on in-person events and fundraising events that happen every single year that help them bring in dollars to support their programs. And of course, we've had to cancel so many of those events this year, move them online, and it just hasn't really been the same for the nonprofits. So the nonprofits definitely have the need that they had last year, and I'm excited to see, my experience in our community and seeing Give Big. When I first participated in it, I was working for a nonprofit organization. We were raising funds during Give Big, a donor, and every year I'm just amazed at how generous our communities are and how much they rally together on the day of giving every year to support the nonprofits.
I think it's a great idea to have a specific event like this that makes it as easy as possible for people to do it, because I think so many times we always mean we're gonna send a donation or we're gonna do this or that, and this really focuses people on this is your time to do it. You mentioned that the pandemic has had obviously a negative effect on a lot of things, but it's also had some positives as far as raising people's awareness as to the needs. Sometimes in an area like Hudson, I remember when I worked for the newspaper, people say, well, we don't have any homeless people, or we don't have any, food insecurity or whatever. And that's just not the case. Right?
Absolutely. It's not the case. And I think it has been good for shedding a light on what the needs really are in our community, and how important the nonprofits are and those established programs at times of crisis when we really need them to step up for us.
Absolutely. And are there volunteers that are helping you out on all of this?
Well, yes, there is a team of volunteers from various nonprofits that participate in Give Big. It's our Give Big leadership team that dedicates their time every year to help out. They help with planning, they help with promotion, they help put signs up all over 4 counties. So I hope as people are driving around, they're seeing Give Big signs all over the place. I'm seeing them in various communities and just cheer on our volunteers every single time I see them, because I know how much work it's been to get that out there. But yes, our volunteers are really they're just tremendous champions for the event, and without them, we wouldn't be able to make this happen every year.
Yeah, I'm seeing them all over Hudson, that's for sure. While I've got you, would you talk a little bit about The other things that I know the United Way does a ton of work in the Hudson area and around the valley. Could you talk a little bit about what United Way's been up to this past year?
Yes, I think the biggest program that I would highlight over the last year with United Way is our 211 St. Croix Valley, which is our information and referral service. The motto for, or the tagline for 211 is Get Connected, Get Help. And that is what they have been doing over this past year. So our 211 service takes calls from people that have any range of needs. They might be calling because they're looking for food. They might be calling because they're looking for mental health resources for a loved one. That might be about to be evicted and looking for housing resources or emergency funding that might be available. And the people that answer the phone at 211 are real experts in everything that's available out there, and will spend time with each individual person on the phone, listening with a caring ear, and then getting them connected to the resources that are out there and available to assist them. So in a way, I think of 211 as another service that we provide for the nonprofit community, because we help get people to them and help people become aware of their services. But also we are just there for our community members to really to listen and then to follow up. And that's another piece of that 211 that is a little bit different than other services that might help get people connected to resources, is that the 211 operators provide these follow-up calls. And so once they get off the phone, it doesn't end there. If somebody reaches out and they're not getting connected to the services that are available, like, oh, I tried that and it didn't work, they'll keep working with them until they can really assist them. So that has been, and our 211 line has seen a huge uptick in call volumes over the past year, especially, with COVID related questions, just people trying to understand the regulations and what's safe and what's not safe, or what the recommendations are from the CDC. And they've also been helping to schedule vaccinations for people that need help scheduling. So we've been very busy over the past year through 211.
Absolutely. And will you be doing this going forward, the same types of things, I'm assuming, right?
Yes. You mean for United Way?
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Our 211 call center continues to grow. We actually launched our center back in August of 2019. So it was not even a year old when the pandemic hit, and it's really experienced a lot of growth over the last year. And then we've built in some programs that help respond to whatever the needs are in our community. So something that comes to mind right now is we have a program called Community Connection Calls, where we are connecting people that are isolated at home and could use someone to call and check in on a weekly basis and just have a conversation or help them with any resources that they might need. We have a team of volunteers that is making those calls every week. And that was really designed in response to what the needs were due to the pandemic and people being isolated and maybe not necessarily needing a crisis call, but just needing somebody to call and check in and have a conversation and combat some of that loneliness.
And we were all familiar in the old days with, not the old days, but with the United Way drive was it always in the fall, if I remember right, or whatever?
Yes. Yep. The fall campaign.
The fall campaign. Is that going to happen the same way again this year?
Well, we did our fall campaign last year, and yes, we will have our campaign again this year. We had to make some changes last year to our campaign. It didn't look the same as it had in years past because so many, we often would go in person. We would have events at the various campaign sites, go and connect with the staff and tell them about the work that we're doing. And as you know, many of the places, either people were working from home or they weren't letting people off-site come on site to do campaign presentations or do the special events that have always been fun in the past. So we pivoted and put things we made the campaign as virtual as possible so that we could continue to engage. We created videos. We've shifted everything online like everybody else is doing right now, and we're able to connect that way, which was wonderful. My hope is that this year we, with the changing and things starting to open back up, that we'll be able to do a little bit more in person, and it will look more like it has in years past with our ability to connect with people face to face.
Absolutely, and if United Way does anything right, it's that they pivot very well in terms of adapting to whatever is facing the community, whatever challenges there are. I want you to speak a little bit, if you would, also about the food pantries and whatever that you guys do in terms of how you support the local food, the food banks.
Yes. So we have, for years, we had the John Coughlin Food and Resource Center, which provided monthly food distributions to 20 food pantries and food shelves, 5 shelters, and multiple pop-up pantry locations throughout our service area. I'm not sure if you have heard this news from United Way, because it's been recently, but we announced a couple of months ago that the John Coughlin Food and Resource Center, we actually, the board and our leadership made the decision, because it had grown so much and there is so much increased demand in our region, made the decision to spin that off into its own nonprofit organization. So it is that is now called the St. Croix Valley Food Bank. And the St. Croix Valley Food Bank is expanding right now, is moved into a new warehouse and is increasing their response in the community. So they're actually participating in giveBig St. Croix Valley. So you can read a lot about their work on their giveBig page.
Again, another example of the United Way, turning something, keep moving. That was John's big thing. Was to reach out and answer the need, and if it needs to change, then we do that. So that's always been the strength of our United Way. Well, and of course, this brings us back to giveBig, because, like you said, the St. Croix Valley, what is it called? St. Croix Valley Food Bank.
The St. Croix Valley Food Bank.
Food Bank was one of the nonprofits people can donate to, along with 80 plus others on April 27th. Right, and
yes.
we know that it will have an incredible impact on those nonprofits, and so we urge everybody to participate. Thank you, Lisa, for explaining what giveBig is, and we will tell people that for more information about participating or making a donation, you go to giveBig St. Croix Valley or scv.org. We'll have that information at the end of the program here, and thank you very much for taking time to tell us about it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And thank you for watching Western Wisconsin Journal.